finished 16th, Brighton, didn't they?
Yeah. It's one of them. Graham Potter, like him. I like his style of football, what he's trying to do at Brighton. But when does it come a point? This is a manager that gets linked to some of the big jobs, right? It's been talked about by the big jobs. Now, when I look around, I think, okay, Chris Hughton, whether you liked his style of football or not, similar to Steve Bruce at Newcastle, he finished 15th and 17th, 41 points and 39. Now, he's been there now 2 years now and have finished on 43 points and 15th and 41 points, 16th. So when are Brighton going to move on? And they've improved. They've spent quite a bit of money as well. They're paying big wages to a couple of frees they got. Big wages.
So Lallana and Welbeck, yeah.
Yeah. When are we expecting them to move up a level? Because when I look at the league and I look at Wolves and I look at Leeds and I look at Newcastle and I look at Villa and I look at Palace and I even look at Southampton, I'm thinking, well, their managers are getting binned, most of them, or bagged. Yet he keeps finishing down there. And he keeps getting praised and linked to all these big jobs, whether it be Arsenal, whether it be Tottenham. Spurs, yeah. And it goes around. So when is there going to be an improvement on their league position?
Do they not look to those, when he's linked with those jobs? And I've seen some fans, say Spurs fans, for example. I've just been sort of doing a little check and saw a good number of Spurs fans saying they wouldn't be unhappy with Graham Potter. Okay, let me throw the game last week at you, where Brighton beat Man City. It's not that they beat them, but they dominated possession in the game. They had more shots, more than double the amount of shots.
They had more players as well.
Yeah, but if we look at, even with 10 men, if you look at the lineups, and this is Man City who've already won the title. Man City had playing for them Stones and Diaz at the back. Zinchenko was playing, Bernardo Silva, Rodri, Gundogan, Mahrez, Torres and Foden. Ederson was in goal. They've dominated possession, and I appreciate it's against 10 men, and Cancelo was sent off very early. This is Man City.
Yeah, but Brighton, that's the way they play. That's what I'm saying. I admire the way he plays. I've nothing wrong with that. Possession-based football. I talked last week about how Manchester City praised them the first time they played, wasn't it? When the way they played against Manchester City made it very difficult for them. Manchester City came out on top, didn't they? But they made it difficult. And he praised Graham Potter then after that game. And then in the second game, again, they went and got the result. Yes, 10 men, but they got the ball. They found a way to play against Manchester City. And I'm all for that. Fantastic performance, Aid. But at what point, all I'm trying to say to you, what point do we expect Brighton to be better?
Okay.
Position in the league? Because I've just mentioned there, Villa, Wolves, you know what I mean? Newcastle, Leeds.
Are Brighton, what it is, that he's being respected for the way they play, okay? We both understand. Everybody understands that. Are they one prolific striker away? I know that they were looking at, say, Ivan Toney. If they bought him, if they'd taken that plunge and bought him, and he'd hit the ground running like he did at Brentford, but in the Premier League instead of the Championship, just say he had been the real deal, would he have bagged 21 goals this season and Brighton would be top 8? Are they just one goal scorer away?
Well, we don't know.
They've got everything going on football-wise, playing the right way, dominating possession, passing the ball, whatever it is, and everything's positive, but they haven't got a prolific goal scorer. Is that the thing?
Or is keeping possession of the football all in the wrong place? Is it keeping the ball for football? Okay. Brighton fans tell us, because I think we all like him, don't we? I mean, Pep's talking about how good he is and that possession football and everything goes with it. Because you keep the football, the idea is you have more possession, you win, you score more goals, you win the games, right? But Brighton obviously not doing that, because they finished 15th and 16th in the Premier League.
I'm gonna address the elephant in the room. 2 letters, XG. Okay, Brighton on expected goals were 5th in the table. Now, don't take this as me saying expected goals is the Bible and the guide we should all use. But the Premier League, top 7 on expected goals was like this. Man City top, Chelsea 2nd, Liverpool 3rd, Man United 4th, Brighton 5th, Arsenal 6th, Leicester 7th.
What do they base that on? Possession?
That's about chances created, good chances created. That's why I'm saying if they got a striker who could score regularly, didn't miss chances, would they be in there? Here's my view on XG.
Well, they're paying one of their strikers over 100 grand.
Well, exactly. That's Danny Welbeck, but he hasn't always been fit, has he? And we saw times towards the end of the season where he actually looked like the real deal, but not enough. So if you did get just say they had, I wouldn't say Harry Kane, but just say they had a Vardy, okay, just finishing those, or an Iheanacho finishing those chances. Could they be even top 6? Very quickly, my view on XG is that it's a guide. I'm not going to dismiss it out of hand like some people do. But it's a guide, but it's not flawless by any stretch. It shouldn't be seen as the ultimate. I mean, I watched a game, Liverpool, earlier in the season, and I was surprised to see that Liverpool didn't score in the game, and I was surprised to see that their expected goals was less than 1. I think it was 0.4 or something like that. And I had seen Salah put a ball into the box for Mane, and it was right in front of him to smack in on the volley, right in front of goal, no defenders near him. But he hit an air shot. And because of that wasn't counted as a chance. It's a clear chance. So XG is flawed. However, over the course of 38 games, it could be seen as something of a guide. So what that tells you is Brighton being 5th on the expected goals table in the Premier League, I think is quite a stunning stat, really. I mean, it doesn't mean they don't deserve to finish 16th, but it tells you that he plays the kind of football that creates chances.
Yeah, and which we all know.
Yeah.
We all know that. So what he's got to do then is go to his technical director, Dan Ashworth, and go to the owner of the football club and say, look, we're 5th. We're 5th, really, on this stat. So give me 40 million and let me sign a striker. I don't want another £3-4 million midfielder who might be worth £10 million in 3 years. I want to get up the table. Because we're having all this possession and playing some lovely football, which everyone appreciates, but finishing 15th and 16th is not good enough when Wolves keep finishing above them, when Burnley more or less keep finishing above them, not this year. And other clubs, which we've been talking about, Southampton and all these guys.
Well, talk to us about it. Graham Potter's still getting a lot of love, and there's no problem with that. I don't dislike him at all. He's the manager who's led Brighton to 16th. Is all the love and all the links with bigger clubs like Spurs, is this based on expected goals? Is that it? 08717 223344. Sean's a Brighton fan. What do you want to say, Sean? You're on talkSPORT.
Yeah, hi Adrian. Hi Goughy. Great show. Thanks for having me on. Season ticket holder now. I've just celebrated my 30th year, actually, as an Albion fan, so I've seen it all before.
Yeah.
Across all 4 divisions, and was there at Hereford where we nearly went out of the league. So, I put it in perspective. It's been great. I love in the Premier League. Well, kind of, really. We're sort of near the bottom every year. But just my point really is that at the moment, I do feel, and a lot of Brighton fans disagree, I do think Graham Potter is vastly overrated at the moment. He hasn't earned his stripes yet. We've got 41 points last year. We've got 41 points this year. Under Chris Hughton, we had 40 and 36. We're not making the progress. We are not. And I heard about those stats and expected goals. I don't really care about that. I want us to see us push on. Now, listen, I don't want to sort of get ahead of myself, because I think, we'll do that. We'll end up going down. But Potter, I feel sorry for Chris Hughton. People are going on about Potter like he's the best thing since sliced bread. And I find it a bit embarrassing when he's been linked to, Tottenham, and he hasn't earned it yet. At the end of the day, we finished 16th. We can't score goals. Neal Maupay is not good enough. We've got to need to get another striker. But I feel sorry for Hughton. People talk about Graham Potter being our greatest ever manager. He hasn't done anything yet. Nothing. He's just kept us up a couple of years. 41 points.
I think that's what I'm saying. But we all like him, though, don't we? We like him, and I understand the style of football. And the praise he gets from other managers, I totally get it. Because you talk about the stats there, if you want to believe them, about 5th on expected goals and all that. We all see it, but I'm with you. To be linked to these big jobs when it's a team that's finished 15th and 16th in his 2 years. Where did he finish before that? Was it Swansea, yeah?
Yeah.
He didn't get in the playoffs, did he?
No, he finished 10th with Swansea. And I just think the guy is overrated at the moment. The real test will be if he gets a decent striker. I get what you were talking about, Goughy, earlier. If we get 40 million on a striker, that's his real test. That we can show how good he is then next season when we've got a good striker. But at the moment, for me, he's a bit overrated.
Well, I think when you appoint a manager based on the way they play, or the expected goals, or whatever it might be, if you then don't give them a goal scorer to work with, they're not going to be able to do the job for the reasons you bought them. It seems a strange philosophy.
Well, they paid
for Brighton.
16 million, didn't they, for Maupay?
Yeah.
Right? So they paid 16 million for him, which is kind of they paid 24, didn't they, for Adam Webster? I think he's fitted in really well. That's a good buy. I totally get that. They've made some good signings. I mean, Lamptey looked brilliant until he got the injury, and for what they bought him for, an absolute bargain. And it wouldn't surprise me if some of the big clubs come in for him and he ends up at one of the big boys again next season, even though he's been injured. So I get it, but 16 million is probably about their market, isn't it, for a striker? Probably 25, the max.
I think they're going to have to up it. I think they're seriously going to have to up it. I mean, Villa paid 28, rising to 33 for Ollie Watkins.
So if they don't this year, you've got to question their ambition.
Absolutely. They're not giving him the tools to work with based on
if that's
on the
all they
seen.
need, a goal scorer, it's that simple.
Yeah.
Give him one.
Do it. Guy is a Brighton fan. Hiya, mate.
Afternoon, AD. Afternoon, Goughy. Great show.
Thank you.
I'd like to take the chat beforehand up to task a little bit. Chris Hughton lost his job purely and simply. He only won 3 out of his last 23 games in charge. That's the reason why Chris went, which is a shame. Love him to bits. He's a club legend. Graham Potter, he's come in. He's changed the mindset of the players completely. And he's also got them playing an easy on the eye style of football. You watched how we played against Man City. You watched how we played against West Ham. How many other teams with the goalkeeper have the ball at their feet, forward rolling in, would just knock it 5 yards to a defender, then receive it, and then knock it out again. It's not 5 or 6 passes and lump it. We just march down the field, nice, slowly, methodically, which is why Pep Guardiola said Graham Potter's the best English manager in the Premier League at the moment. It's not negative football. We are one striker short of being mid-table or higher.
So give him it then. Give him it. The owners of the club then, give him 40 million and let him go buy this striker that's going to turn him into a top 10 team.
Well, that's down to Tony Bloom. He's got a plan which would go for the next 5 or 6 years, which is why he extended Graham Potter's contract early on last season. He extended it from 4 to 6. So he's there in the plan. It's all going to come about. It's just Neal Maupay, he just needs to be a little bit more confident up front, take his time a little bit. Just to get, also if I can get back to something Adi said earlier, you mentioned a brilliant pub in Rochdale being the Cemetery Arms.
Oh, yeah.
Wonderful place. I've had a great couple of afternoons there. I'd also throw in the Shay at Halifax as well. That's a lovely place.
Gosh, a long time since I went to an away game at Halifax. I can't remember that one. But the Cemetery really stuck in my mind. If you've not been, please do go to Strawberry at Newcastle. Another great football pub. There's so many of them. Away days are just the very, very best, aren't they?